Let's make some delicious chicken dumplings. I'm starting off with 1.5 pounds of ground chicken. To that, we are going to add in the rest of our ingredients. I have this small cabbage here, but preferably you want to use the snapper cabbage right here. This is the only cabbage that I found, so I'm going to use half of this cabbage. I'm going to chop it up into small pieces and then toss that into my food processor. I just removed the bottom little root bit and I am adding this into the food processor and going to process this until I'm happy with the consistency. And this is what we have here. This looks good and we are going to add that into the chicken. Next, we're going to chop up 2 medium onions and I'm also going to toss this into the food processor. You can always do this by hand. I just prefer the food processor because it makes a really good fine consistency. I'm also adding in a handful of cilantro here. We are looking for about the same consistency as the cabbage, and you can see here that this actually has a lot of water here, so I'm going to squeeze out all the water and then going to add that into our ground chicken as well. And then I'm also going to do the same thing with a few green onions here, and you can use as many as you like here. I wasn't actually happy with the consistency of the green onions here, and so I ended up chopping a little bit more by hand and then adding that in. The reason why I don't do the onions and cilantro and green onions together is because the green onions get a little slimy and then I'm not able to squeeze out the water. That's why I like doing that step separate. Then I'm going to add in my sesame seed oil. I'm also adding some soy sauce and then ginger garlic paste. I usually have homemade ginger garlic paste, but this is the one from the store. I'm adding that in. It works just fine. Then we are also going to add in some black pepper. If you have white pepper, that works well too. And then we are going to add in some salt to taste. Keep in mind that the soy sauce also has some salt in it. You can always do a test batch to see if you have added enough salt later on. Once we have all the ingredients in the bowl, we are going to go ahead and give this a good mix. This recipe is very simple and so good. My family loves it and it is definitely our go-to meal in the winter. You can even freeze these and it makes for a perfect quick meal. I started making chicken dumplings at home last year when I was having a really hard time finding halal frozen dumplings. Now it's finally time to fill and wrap our dumplings. I like to use the store-bought dumpling wrappers because it makes life so much easier and it is so quick to work with. You should be able to find these at any Asian grocery store. I also have this tiny bowl of water here to seal the dumplings, and I have a dumpling mold that I like to press and make the shape. You can fold it like a dumpling already. I am really bad at that, so I like to use this little gadget that I got from Amazon. So we are going to grab one of our dumpling wrappers. We are going to take a small spoonful of the dumpling filling we just made. Try not to overfill this because it really does get hard to work with. Then I'm going to dip my finger into the water and fold it over into a semicircle shape and really squeeze it together so it's nice and shut. Then I will grab my dumpling mold and make that pretty pattern on the edges. This step is definitely optional. If you don't want the fancy look, you can definitely just keep the edges plain, but this makes it look like a real dumpling and this mold works really well. I've tried a few different ways to do this, and for me, this method is definitely the quickest. I just went ahead and made a bunch off camera, and here they are looking beautiful and ready to be pan fried. That I was able to get about 100 dumplings out of the filling that we just made, and I even had a little bit left over. Now I am grabbing the biggest pan that I have so I can fit as many dumplings as possible. I am just heating that up on medium heat with about a tablespoon or 2 of oil. Once that's heated up, I am going to add in my dumplings. We are going to add as many dumplings in this pan as possible, just making sure that they're all laying flat. That way we can get a nice brown crust at the bottom. I'm going to let this cook for about 2 to 3 minutes until the bottom gets a nice golden brown color. Now, I know there are a few different ways to do this, but I like to have color on both sides of my dumplings. So here I am flipping them, and then I'm going to add my water to create that steam and then cover it quickly with the lid. Going to let this cook for another 5 to 6 minutes until majority of the water has evaporated. Now I am going to let this cook for 1 to 2 minutes until we have nice color at the bottom. You can turn up the heat at this point if you like, just to help speed up the process. These dumplings are almost done and it smells so good in the kitchen. My kids are so excited to eat these and they turn out so good. I really hope you guys try out this recipe. And do comment down below and let me know how it turns out for you guys. And remember, this is just a guide. Feel free to add whatever you like and make them your own. This is definitely one of those meals you can't stop eating. This recipe is definitely one of my favorites, and I will leave the full recipe in the description box below along with the garlic chili sauce that I like to serve this with. Thank you so much for watching this video. It means the world to me. This month actually marks 1 year of my YouTube channel, and I really appreciate everybody who has been supporting my channel, watching the videos, commenting and liking. I hope you guys continue to do that, and I will see you next time. If you are not already, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful day.